and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new installment of my The Skinny On series, and in today's video we're going to be talking all about artificial sweeteners. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome, thank you for stopping by. My name is Becca, I'm a registered dietitian, and I have tons of The Skinny On videos on lots of other food products like peanut butter and Greek yogurt and bread, and the list goes on. So if you are curious to know what I have to say about those products and how to pick the healthiest ones, I will leave the playlist to all of those videos linked down below in the description box. Alright, so let's talk artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are beneficial because they allow us to add sweetness to food and drinks without adding any calories. Isn't that nice? But are they the best for our health? That's what we're going to dive into in today's video. Most artificial sweeteners are actually derived from sugar itself. They are just processed in the lab and basically they become unabsorbable in our bodies. It's basically sugar that's been manipulated so that when we actually ingest it and it goes down into our stomach and our intestines, we can't actually absorb it into the body. It just goes out in our waste, and therefore it has no calories because it never actually gets in the body and never actually gets accounted for. The OGs of artificial sweeteners would be aspartame and saccharin. Saccharin is what Sweet and Low is made out of, and aspartame is what Equal is made out of. They're also in other food products, or not just in those specific sugar substitutes, but those are not as widely used anymore. They're not as popular. What is way more popular nowadays is sucralose, and that is what you would see as Splenda. It's also used in a ton of food products to add sweetness without adding any calories. And then the very last one, which is probably the most popular nowadays, is stevia. So stevia is considered natural because it is plant derived. It is actually from a stevia plant. So the stevia leaf itself is extremely sweet, and there is nothing wrong with the stevia leaf. It's a leaf, it's natural. But as consumers, what we're purchasing is either stevia granules or like stevia liquid in the form of drops, something like that. And by the time it's in that form, it is far more processed than the natural little leaf. So it's technically derived from a natural source because it comes from a plant, but if you really think about it, so are all the other ones because they're also derived from sugar, which is naturally occurring. They're just manipulated so that we can't absorb them. So either way you slice it, all artificial sweeteners, whether they are plant derived or come from sugar, they're all processed products. Now what's important to look at is the actual research on whether or not the use of artificial sweeteners are safe, should we be eating them, ingesting them, blah blah blah. So there has basically always been this kind of weak link between artificial sweetener consumption and cancer. So it has never been concrete, proven in human subjects. Years and years ago, there was one study that came out that said that rats had higher bladder cancer rates if they were eating saccharin. So that was kind of where that all started, but from there, all studies have been pretty inconclusive, and we haven't been able to come up with, definitive research or definitive evidence to say, yes, the consumption of artificial sweeteners definitely causes cancer. So at this point in time, and based on where the research stands, artificial sweeteners have been deemed generally regarded as safe when eaten in small quantities. So based on the research, there isn't a huge concern about, consuming these artificial sweeteners or sugar substitutes. However, there is something that I want to mention that you may not think about that is definitely a drawback. All artificial sweeteners or sugar substitutes, whether it's stevia, aspartame, saccharin, sucralose, doesn't matter. All substitutes are extremely sweet, and they can be thousands of times more sweet than glucose, which is just regular old sugar. So my take on that is if you are constantly consuming on a daily basis or even a weekly basis these artificial sweeteners that could be 1,000 times sweeter than regular sugar, you are, consistently bathing your taste buds in this extra sweet substance. So what happens is your taste buds will actually adapt to that level of sweetness, and you won't necessarily feel satisfied if you have anything that is less sweet than that. So what that means in, everyday terms, just an example, you may need to eat, 3 or 4 cookies instead of just 1 cookie so that you can reach that same level of sweetness, so you reach that same level of satisfaction. When you're always consuming these extremely sweet substances that are so much sweeter than sugar, when you eat actual sugar, you need to eat a lot more of it to reach that threshold. I hope that this is making sense. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is if you're always eating artificial sweeteners, it's going to end up likely increasing your cravings for sweet things because you just have this high sweetness threshold that you're used to. And when you do consume sweet things, you're going to need a lot more in order to feel satisfied. So while you may be saving, a few calories by using Splenda or stevia instead of real sugar, it may backfire and you may end up consuming even more calories from sugar than you would have if you just had that small amount of real sugar to begin with. Again, hope this is making sense. And at the end of the day, excess intake of either sugar, whether it's the real stuff or the artificial stuff, is never a good thing. In order just to make it easy and to avoid all this confusion, the best thing to do is just to eat whole, real, unprocessed foods. If you guys are looking for sweeteners that are real and whole and unprocessed, 100% maple syrup is a good one. Using dates is also a good option, and honey is another really good one. These are all going to add sweetness to baking or cooking, whatever it is you're doing, but they're not going to be adding anything that's potentially harmful, and it's always going to be a little bit better than table sugar since it is natural, it's not processed in the least. But of course, always remember that sugar in any form in excess is never a good thing. We always want to maintain a balanced diet, and in my opinion, the more real, unprocessed food you eat, the better you're going to feel and the better your body is going to work for you. But that is all I have for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed learning more about artificial sweeteners. I love doing the Skinny On videos. I'm definitely going to do some more soon. Definitely going to do one on protein powders, probably going to do one on salad dressings. I've been getting a lot of requests for the two of those. If you have any other requests, please leave them down below and I will try and add them to my list. If you did enjoy watching this video, please give it a thumbs up before you leave so you can help me spread this message and my knowledge and just help me help other people. If you guys have yet to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, make sure to do so. I would love to connect with you guys on there. And of course, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, make sure to do that as well so you can join my little community here on YouTube. But that's all I have, guys. Thank you so much for watching again, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.